Hello bookworms! Today I'm going to be doing my June book haul video. I've got a lot of books. What else is new? I tried to not really purchase that many books in June because I barely read anything in May, but then once I did start reading, I definitely purchased quite a few. And then also with everything going on in the world, I wanted to buy a lot of books by Black authors so that I could show my support that way and hopefully show the publishing industry that these are stories that people want to read and people want to be heard, and the best way to do that is to physically buy the books. So here we go. So I'm gonna start with new releases and then I'll move into backlist books. I don't have too many new releases this month because a lot of the new releases that I was looking forward to getting are actually coming out on June 30th, so they'll definitely arrive here sometime in July, but I thought it made sense to just film what actually showed up in June. Starting off, I'm gonna show A Song Below Water by Bethany C. Morrow. I did mention this book in my May book haul because it's the July book for the Sartorial Geek Book Club, but I technically got it in June, so it's actually part of my June book haul. It came out in June and I purchased it shortly thereafter, but it's following Black Mermaids and I'm really looking forward to reading it and discussing it with you guys over in the Discord group. I also picked up a finished copy of Queen's Peril by E.K. Johnston. This is her new Padme novel. It's actually a prequel to the prequel series of films, so it's one of the first things in canon. I really enjoyed it. It follows a very young Padme as she just gets elected to become Queen Amidala, and it shows her meeting the rest of her handmaidens and the very early stages of their relationship as she's trying to kind of strike a balance between being the leader and also being friendly with the girls. It was excellent. And then speaking of Star Wars, Random House was kind enough to send me a finished copy of Shadowfall by Alexander Freed. This is a new adult novel in Star Wars canon. It's actually a sequel, so the first book in the series is Alphabet Squadron, and it focuses on one of my favorite characters from Star Wars Rebels, Hera Syndulla, who is the pilot of the Ghost ship, and she's leading a squadron of all different ships. And I haven't actually gotten to read that first one just yet, but I've heard excellent things about it. Very much looking forward to reading it and now having the sequel on hand so I can jump right into this one afterward. I also really like the cover. And then the last new release that I have to show you is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. This is a new mystery novel about a wedding that's taking place on a very remote Irish island, and then I believe someone gets murdered or someone goes missing or something. There's some kind of mystery going on, and I've heard excellent things from people who have already read it. It sounds like something that I'm really going to enjoy and then probably pass along to my mom because she tends to love mystery thrillers. Next, I've got a really beautiful edition of The Last Wish by Andrzej Sapkowski. This is a beautiful collectible edition that was released by Illumicrate. I ordered one as soon as they went live on their website because I obviously had to have this. It's stunning. It has black pages. I just think the whole design is gorgeous. I love the birds flying in the sky. It's so nice, and look at the end papers. I'm really hoping that they will do the rest of the Witcher books in this style as well because I will 100% get them. I've been reading the Witcher books and then unhauling them once I finish because they're so ugly. I saw no need to keep them on my shelves, but if I can have ones that look like this, I will definitely be investing in them. Then I picked up Jackpot by Nick Stone. This is one of the books that I ordered from, I actually ordered, a lot of books from bookshop.org and specifically ordered them to support the Lit Bar, which is a Black-owned bookstore in the Bronx in New York City. I've always wanted to go there. I actually met someone who works there at Book Expo last year and she was so nice. And I'm really looking forward to finally getting over to that store and seeing it in person once things are up and running again. It follows a girl named Riko who works at a store where there is a $100 million lottery ticket that goes unclaimed. So she basically makes it her mission to find this person and to be able to get them to claim their winnings in the hopes that she will also catch some kind of break for reuniting the owner of the ticket with their winnings that they are entitled to. I think it sounds really good. I'm excited to read more of Nick Stone's work because I remember that I really loved her short story in the, what was it called? Now the title of the book is escaping me, but we read an anthology of short stories for 'Tis the Season-a-thon, not last year, but the year before. And Nick Stone wrote one of the short stories within that book, and it was actually my favorite of all of the ones in there. So I'm really looking forward to getting to read like a full-blown novel by her. And this one sounds like it's gonna be very entertaining. I also picked up A Blade So Black by L.L. McKinney. It follows a girl named Alice who lives in Atlanta, and in addition to dealing with all of the like typical teenage things, she's also responsible for keeping what are called nightmares at bay in this dream world called Wonderland. It's obviously inspired by Alice in Wonderland, and it sounds like it's gonna be really good. I know that there's a sequel to it as well. Not sure if that one's out just yet, but I'm hoping that I love this one and then I will end up picking up that one too. Then I got Shuri, which is a Marvel novel all about Shuri from the Black Panther films. She was definitely like my favorite character in Black Panther, so I'm really excited that there's a novel that is just like dedicated to her story. I really hope that she's gonna play an even larger role going forward in the MCU. It would be so cool if she got her own movie, but this one is actually also written by Nick Stone, so again, really excited to read more Nick Stone. Then I got The Revolution of Birdie Randolph by Brandy Colbert. It follows a girl named Birdie who is basically like the perfect daughter. She gets really good grades. She does everything that she knows will please her parents, but then she ends up meeting a boy who has kind of a troubled past, and she knows that it's not going to be something accepted by her parents, but she can't really help falling for him. So it just sounds like it's going to be a very cute YA rom-com. Then I have With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. This is one that I've been wanting to read for a while. I've heard so many people talk about it on BookTube, and it sounds like it's going to be really good. Part of what initially drew me to this, not gonna lie, is the beautiful cover. So underneath the dust jacket, this is what the hardcover looks like. It's so pretty. I've been curious about reading something by Elizabeth Acevedo since her other book, The Poet X, won a whole bunch of awards. There was like a lot of critical acclaim surrounding it. I wasn't certain how I would feel about it because I believe it's like a poetry novel, which doesn't always tend to be my thing, but if I like this one, I'm definitely going to pick up The Poet X as well. Then I got the first 3 books in the Reluctant Royal series by Alyssa Cole. This is a romance series. So the first one is A Princess in Theory, the second one is A Princess on Paper, and the third one is Duke by Default. I've heard really good things about this series. I actually have the first one on ebook as well, but I decided to spring for physical copies, and I'm excited to get to them. Then I picked up 2, I believe, indie published books. The first one being Fortuna Sworn, and the second one being Restless Slumber. Both of these are by KJ Sutton, and they are fantasy books about fairies, so I really didn't need to know too much else, but I've heard good things about them from people recently who have read them on BookTube, so I wanted to pick them up as well and give them a shot. Then I got A Girl Like Her by Talia Hibbert. I've been wanting to read this book since I saw Riley talk about it in a video like a long time ago about some of her favorite romances, because this one follows, I don't know if it's the main character or the love interest, but one of them is very into comics, which I love comics, so I'm really excited to see a romance story about nerds. I think it's going to be something that I end up loving. Then I have a finished copy of Slay by Brittany Morris. I've actually had an arc of this book for a really long time, but I have not yet read it, and I've been meaning to do so, but I decided to just go ahead and pick up a finished copy as well. This is a story about a Black game developer who is getting a lot of online hate from this person who's kind of trolling her after she creates this really cool game that's basically based on Black Panther, or that's like very heavily inspired by Black Panther. I've heard really good things from people who've read it, and as someone who loves video games, I think I'm gonna end up really enjoying this book. Then I got Rain and Delilah's Midnight Matinee by Jeff Zentner. This is a young adult contemporary novel that I remember being interested in when I first heard the premise of it, but it's escaping me at the moment. But I know that it has to do with movies, obviously, because it's called Midnight Matinee. So it sounds like it's gonna be cute, and we'll see what I think of it. And then shifting genres a little bit, I ended up picking up The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. This is the only book that I haven't yet read by Riley Sager, so I want to fix that and then also read his new book that's coming out in 2 weeks. It's a thriller, and I honestly don't even know the premise of this one, but I have loved all of Riley Sager books that I've read so far, so I'm here for it. And lastly, I picked up a copy of Kill Creek by Scott Thomas. This is a horror novel that has, I feel like its praises have been sung on so many channels that love horror. One person particularly that comes to mind is Rachel from the Shades of Orange. I remember watching her review of it and she definitely convinced me to pick up a copy of this. It sounds like it's going to be so good. It's following a whole bunch of horror authors who basically go on this retreat together, like a writing retreat, and then I believe people start getting murdered. So they go there on Halloween night as like a publicity thing, but then they kind of end up having to fight for their lives. And that sounds excellent. And then the last two books that I got are huge and heavy. The first one being the next library edition of Avatar: The Last Airbender Imbalance. So Imbalance is the next story arc, and now that the 3 volumes have been collected into one of these beautiful library editions, I am so excited to read it. I love Avatar: The Last Airbender and I love the Avatar comics. I'm excited that I was caught up on all of the other ones so I can dive right into this one, although I'm sure that the wait between this one and the next one will feel like forever. And then the final book that I got, which came super late after like months of delays, is the official companion to Animal Crossing. So this goes like way into depth about all of the things within the game, from like flower breeding to all of the DIYs that you can get and all that kind of stuff. And I just really love this game, so I was very excited to buy a companion. It's been so many years since I've bought like a companion to a video game. Actually, I think I bought a companion to Sword and Shield for Andrew. Like, no, not to Sword and Shield, for Sun and Moon. So that was definitely the last one that I bought. But I used to buy companion books all the time to video games when I was a kid. Like, my brother and I would get them at GameStop. So I felt nostalgic to pick this one up. And that's it. Those are all of the books that I got in June. Let me know if there's anything in here that you recommend I pick up sooner rather than later. If there's anything that you loved that you're excited to talk about. And that's all that I have for this video, so I will see you guys soon in a new one. Bye!